I'll make one thing clear as well. We have signed Jaron Ennis to fight Vergil Ortiz.
Okay.
We had a meeting with the Zone and Golden Boy. All the terms were set out for that big event. Jaron's new extension with us has signed for all of those terms to fight Vergil Ortiz next. So we're in January, February, whenever that's going to be. And, the plan is for Boots to fight in October, Vergil to fight in October, and then they're straight in. Wow. So people can moan and this. We have signed for that fight. And it's not, oh, yeah, but what terms did you sign? No, we signed the terms that everybody agreed. Very fair for both fighters. I mean, it's pretty transparent what the deal's going to be. It's a massive fight for US boxing. So hopefully Vergil Ortiz steps up and we give American boxing what I think is one of the best fights in the sport.
You guys heard it. The man himself, Eddie Hearn, just confirmed that he met with DAZN and Golden Boy, where Jaron Ennis and everyone agreed to the deal for Jaron and Vergil to fight in October. They're going to have a tuna fight. And then they're going to fight each other either in January or February 2026. Eddie Hearn revealed he actually signed Jaron Ennis into an extension solely for the Vergil Ortiz fight. That was the main goal and motive. So Jaron Ennis re-signing with Eddie Hearn only had one purpose, which is to deliver the Vergil Ortiz fight after his debut at 154. Now that's a statement by Jaron. This reminds me of when Andre Ward moved up to light heavyweight in order to fight the Crusher Kovalev, the monster that was not just knocking out fighters cold, he was also catching bodies while doing so. He ended up taking a life or two. Andre Ward, coming off a shoulder surgery and a layoff, won it a couple tuna fights before fighting the Crusher. HBO ended up working out a deal to give both Kovalev and Andre Ward tuna fights before fighting each other. Even though Kovalev was already a light heavyweight, obviously, but he was the boogeyman. He didn't have many options. And likewise for Andre Ward. In fact, HBO was dying to push Andre away from Gennady Golovkin. And we all know Gennady Golovkin turning down the fight back in the day. Anyways, it seems like Eddie Hearn, Jaron Ennis, and Vergil Ortiz took a page out of that because that's exactly what they are doing. They worked out a similar deal to have a tuna fight and then fight each other. So I don't want to hear none of that duck talk. However, it's something that Eddie Hearn said that caught my attention. After stating that DAZN, Jaron Ennis, Matchroom, and Golden Boy all met and agreed to all of the terms, then Eddie Hearn followed up by stating, hopefully Vergil Ortiz steps up and he signs whatever terms, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he agreed too. Because if everyone agreed, if Golden Boy agreed, if DAZN agreed, if Matchroom agreed, then if the fighter Vergil Ortiz himself haven't agreed yet, we do not have a fight. None of that really matters. The fighters have to agree. We all know Vergil Ortiz agreed to the Turkey deal, whatever that was. Therefore, I found it strange that Golden Boy agreed to the terms, but not Vergil. That doesn't make sense to me. Either way, it doesn't seem like Turkey is going to be the one hosting this fight on the ring or Riyadh season. It seems like this is going to be a one-off. Eddie Hearn stated Matchroom is going to obviously host the fight along with Golden Boy as the co-promoters. Here's the deal though, here's the catch. Obviously the fight is going to be on pay-per-view. Turkey, on the other hand, he already announced that the ring and Riyadh season are going to be free from now on. We shouldn't have to pay $30 for DAZN subscription and then pay $60 to $80 for the pay-per-view or something crazy like that. And that's per fight. So Turkey want to get rid of pay-per-views. However, that creates an open market opportunity for promoters like Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy, along with even Bob Arum and Al Heyman. Because There's no competition when it comes to pay-per-views. They were just spamming us with pay-per-views just a couple months ago, if not a month ago, and before that, right? So the way Turkey is trying to get rid of pay-per-views is going to create a market for the mega fights to be on pay-per-views. Is Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz a huge pay-per-view fight that could stand on its own without the need of Turkey to pay the fighters to make the fight come to fruition? I think so. So we're going to see a shift in business in the sport of boxing. The fights that are not pay-per-view worthy are going to end up with Turkey, no doubt. But the pay-per-view worthy fights that can at least do 300,000 on pay-per-view, like Gervonta has been doing, I have a feeling we're not going to see these type of fights on the ring or reality season, especially if the fighters don't need huge guarantee. If the fighters agree to take the back end of the pay-per-view because they believe they're going to sell on pay-per-view, then you best believe they're going to host those fights on pay-per-view solo, alone, aside from the ring and reality season. Or if we see them in the ring or reality season, then the promoters for the fighters are going to play a hell of a leverage game on Turkey that I don't believe or think Turkey is going to enjoy or entertain. I mean, you guys heard how Eddie Hearn was talking. He wasn't talking like he wanted to host this fight with Turkey. He was talking like he wanted to host this fight alone to make a statement, because it is a big fight. But with that being so, we all know Vergil Ortiz already agreed to the offer that Turkey gave him. So it's going to be interesting to see if Matchroom did match that, or if they even gave him a better offer. One thing for sure and two things for certain, Eddie Hearn made it clear Jaron Ennis already agreed to the part of the deal, his part of the deal, but Vergil Ortiz have not agreed to his portion of the deal. I wonder why. Only time will tell. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Got you. One more for me. Boots, speaking of moving up, Boots is moving up. Turkey just came out and said that Boots turned down the fight versus Vergil. He wants a tune-up. What are your comments about this? Because y'all did call for Vergil.
Well, it's actually, we were asked to make that fight on August 16th, of which we accepted it, and they said that Vergil wasn't ready. So, then they said they want to do the fight in November 22nd, and we've already got a fight planned with Boots at the end of September or early October. So we will sign to fight Vergil Ortiz, but he is planned to have that one fight at 154, which, to be honest with you, I don't think it's unreasonable. You're moving from 47 to 54, but any fight that Boots takes next that doesn't involve Vergil Ortiz, he will sign for Vergil Ortiz. So that fight, and I bumped into Vergil Ortiz at the baggage claim at the airport in Dallas, and I said, this fight's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's really, I don't like marinating fights, but these two, you're two great young undefeated fighters. The fight's going to get bigger and bigger, and you ain't got to wait too long till that fight. You've probably got to wait till, I don't know, December, January, February, and you'll see Boots against Ortiz. And mark these words, play the interview back, Boots will win the fight comfortably against Vergil Ortiz. I love Vergil Ortiz, but he ain't beating Jaron Boots Ennis.
It's going to be a good fight. Thank you so much, Eddie. Thank you for your time.